Now, you remember I told you that the next video was going to be on our RV. Well, got some things that's come up, and number one is the video I made a couple of years ago wanted I had some inaccurate information on it, so I decided that I would just make another video of it. Unfortunately, today is Thursday, August something, mid-August of 23. I got a call Sunday night at about 8:30 to come up here. Police department was looking for everybody who owns stuff in here. This is a multi-building complex. There's other RVs in here, boats, stuff like that. And somebody broke into one building 3 down. Unfortunately, the doors between them were not as secure as they thought, and they managed to kick into the second building and then kick into this building. Since then, everything has been welded up solid. There's only one now gate in and out of here. And technically the only way they could get in here is cut a hole in the side of the building, which I have seen people do that. Unfortunately, this was also hit. So I just come up here. Like I said, I know it was Sunday. I did come up Sunday. We looked through it the best we could. It was 100 degrees in here, no light. I didn't want to plug in the batteries till I got a chance to look the entire unit over, because they stole some stuff and I wanted to make sure they didn't unplug anything or tear something out that would cause a fire or damage somebody else's stuff. They didn't break anything to get into my vehicle. Believe it or not, they were able to pick the locks, which I was surprised, because it actually has a deadbolt from a house on it that was installed at some point. Unfortunately, there was one over there, a fifth wheel buddy of mine. He's the one who actually got me onto this place. He's been up here over 10 years, never had any trouble. They couldn't get in his, so they just tore the lock up. Well, they dented a lot of stuff up trying to get in. They dented my doors up. They tore them up. Unfortunately, there's a big dent in this one. They obviously hit it with something, because this was not like this. And I think they had a hammer. They were trying to get in these. They actually could not get in these, and this is where the stuff was. They managed to get in the other side, but I didn't keep anything over there. So you know, this has like another propane tank, a grill, chairs, you know, all that stuff that you would need for camping. I mean, you know, it's not I don't keep anything in it that's worth anything. They can't be replaced. Maybe I should say it that way. But they tore the heck out of these doors. They beat them with hammers. They already had a little clear coat coming off. That's not the problem. But so this is what I came into. I just plugged the batteries in after I did a walk around in it. There's the stereo part of it. There was 3 backup cameras that I hadn't installed yet. They were gone. For some reason, they tore the cover off of the instrument cover. It's in here somewhere. I think I saw it. They got into everything, every cabinet door. Why they took the mattress off, I can't fathom. It just looks like a tornado went through here. I've never seen anything like it, but they tore into everything. So for your first look at my RV, this is what you get. I have not done a lot of stuff here yet, obviously. Just kind of looking around. Let me get some lights on the subject here. I'm not even going to look. I hope nobody used it. That's all I'm going to say. They took the trash can, dumped it. There wasn't anything in it. We don't keep anything in it. Anyway, it's got a washer dryer combo. The doors no longer close on. Okay, that must be the hot water tank. They jerked that off there for some reason. I don't know why. I've never even took that off. Didn't know it came off. It's a couple of leaves for the table, which I'll show you here in a bit. Like I said, they weren't gentle. Broke a piece off. It was up here on top. When they moved that mattress, I bet you they took. Yeah, I know you can't see it. It's too dark in here. I'm not going to turn on every light, but anyway. So this is my RV. It's just remarkable how big of jerks people can be. You know, I mean, it's like I work my butt off in this stuff, and I don't make any money off of YouTube. It's just aggravating. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through here a little bit more. I have to finish making finish the police report. I already given part of it. I told him, I said, look, we can go through this. He says, we have so many things to do. We're going to be doing paperwork for 6 months on this anyway. So let me see, what can I Well, I guess the first thing to do, since I haven't done that in a while, well, I haven't done it in 3 weeks. Let me get some stuff moved here. Sorry, vomit cam. Ugh. Anyway, oh, it's kind of dark in here, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Let me see if I can get a... It helped a little. This is a 99 Safari Zanzibar. It's on a Magnum chassis. It's powered by a, I think it's a C7. 3126 cat, producing, I believe it's 330 horse or something like that. I never looked the torque specs up. It's only got 38,300 miles on it. It's got a 6-speed Allison automatic. It does have a engine brake. It is air ride, air brake, parking brake system. Everything else is hydraulic. It's hydraulic disc brakes all the way around. The big super slide on this side, which is very big, it takes up basically from behind my seat. It takes up from behind my seat all the way to that back kitchen wall where the stove is. So it's a big super slide. Let's see here. I have not started it. I know it's dark. Do not shift. Okay. There, she fired up anyway. Come on. Air pressure's coming up. Looks like it's got about 40 pounds of oil pressure. I'm going to put it on fast idle. No, we did buy a different, obviously it's part of the dish. I had to buy out of pocket for that, but I haven't mounted it on the ceiling, on the roof yet, because it's kind of nice to be able to take it off and move it around. But eventually it will go up on the roof to replace the one that's up there. Obviously the big TV was replaced, or the little TV was replaced with the big one. You hit your head on it every time you come up. That's nice. Nice and handy. So, anyway. Got a good sounding cat, and let me tell you what, this thing runs great. What I did do was, the reason I didn't have the other 3 cameras installed yet was I put the first backup camera up here. And the reason I did that is because you can't see nothing in these big things, especially you got a car behind you, like I'm talking about pulling a car, and you can't see behind you. Let me see if this thing even still works, thanks to them. I haven't even. Like I said, I'm trying stuff as it kind of goes, because the battery could be dead on this remote too, because it's been in here for a little while. There it is. I close the door. I didn't hear my steps go up. That's not a good sign. You can see everything on the right side of the unit, but so I'm inside. It's sunlight. I'll open the big door up. But anyhow, I'm just going to go through this a little bit more and kind of look it over to make sure that there isn't anything else that's damaged or whatever. Let me see, something I haven't tried. See if the generator will start. Generator, super slide, monitoring system on everything, levels of the tank, propane, which has got a huge propane tank. Let me see if I can even see if I can start. This is the monitor part of it. So good charge, LP's 3/4 full, all the tanks are empty. That's how I like to do it. So let's see if we can get this thing started. And nothing. Yeah, I'm getting nothing. So I know the generator's there. I'm just gonna have to look that over. Batteries could be dead in it. I mean, they shouldn't be. I did take them down and have them. I took them all out individual, but Yeah, whatever reason my step did not close or fold up. That ain't good. Well, let me look some other stuff over, guys. I'll bring you back here in a bit. All right, well, I did a walkthrough, and besides the damage on those doors, some of them are bent, which they were kind of that way when I got it. I had to do some rework on it. When they tried to get in back there where the batteries were at, they actually pulled that whole quarter side moves. I cannot get the steps to move at all. No matter what I've done, I can't get it, and the generator will not start. So I'm going to have to do some more wire tracing to find out what else is done. And then something on a stupid note, apparently their batteries, at least on one of their flashlights, a little one must have went dead because they took the batteries out of my remote and to power their, yeah, so add insult to injury. But anyway, with that said, I looked everything else over. I still can't tell anything is missing on the small stuff. You know, you just can't. I keep stuff in totes that could possibly get mice and stuff in there. We keep barbait in several of the component areas because we had mice problems at this building. Well, you can see daylight through it all the way around. So we did have some mice issues right off the bat. But, you know, all in all, we bought this, well, I guess it would have been 2.5 years ago. And I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to watch where I'm walking. And we've only got to take it camping a couple of times, but you know, the weather changed so hot last year so fast, and then this year we just haven't had time. It's just a remodeling the house and doing everything like that, and all the cars I got going. I just haven't had time. But this is something we bought because none of my kids are anywhere close to it. So the closest one are 2.5 hours away, and families from Colorado to Florida. So it's just very difficult to. You know, you don't buy these things to save money, but especially a diesel. But it is something that, you know, we've always wanted, and I wanted something big enough that could pull a car behind it, and that's why we bought one with a diesel in it, a bigger one. It's bigger, it's big enough. You know, the next step up on those was a big motor coach, the Class A motor coach, and they. You know, they have bigger engines and bigger this and that, and they're fine. And if we were trying to pull a 24-foot enclosed trailer or something, I would have stepped up. But this is just going to be one of those tow dollies with Toyota on it or something. So this thing has zero trouble getting to 70 miles an hour. It's got cruise control. The dash air works, but what I've ran into is there's a vacuum pump underneath that changes where it comes out, and it makes a lot of noise, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. So it's something I need to fix. I obviously need to buy more backup cameras because when they took the little TV out where the big one is up above the dash, that took away the rear backup camera. So that has to be, I have to put one back there, and I wanted one on the right side. I'm probably going to put one low as well, and if I may even put one in the engine compartment because it'd be nice to know, you know, when I first bought this thing, actually, that was kind of a surprise. I had it about, 4 or 5 days. I wired my garage so I could plug this thing in with a 50 amp breaker. And then I had it moved so I could mow, and it was down there idling at the end of the driveway. And next thing I know, antifreeze is coming out. It's like, what in the heck is going on? And this thing here, which I know I don't have much light on it. Like I said, this place doesn't have any power. This was a plastic reservoir. Made by Ford, and it split right at the seam, and the only people who had one new was actually Amazon, and the reviews on them were bad. We're talking 3 months to a year is all people could get out of them. Well, this thing's all the way at the wrong end if you're trying to keep an eye on, you know, coolant and levels and stuff like that. A place in Texas was making this. I can't remember the name of it. If anybody's interested in it, message me and I'll try to go back and find it. But I bought this from them. It was a direct replacement. One hose size is a little bit off, but I managed to get it to work. It does have a sight gauge in it. Of course, you fill your antifreeze through there. And it's all steel, and that was a much better than the plastic as far as I'm concerned. So that... I do need to, you know, tidy up some paint here and there, clear coat and stuff, but I didn't get to tell you because it was making so much noise. But each one of the Zanzibars, or Safaris, I guess I should say, they actually have somebody who, I don't know if they hand painted them or whatever, but the name is on them and when they did them. And they're all different. I don't think there's one that's the same. Don't quote me on that. But that's where the original backup camera went, was there. It was one of those old, you know, cable driven ones. I'm running, you know, whatever it was. This side was never in the sun, so I know you can't see nothing. There is a scratch up there from a tree limb. I did that. I think I can buff it out, but I haven't really tried. But otherwise, this side, it must have never been in the sun because there's no clear coat missing on this side. So got a couple of scratches, which, you know, one this long, that's kind of the way it works. As a matter of fact, when I first got it, I actually clipped my mailbox. Didn't think much about it. I swung out because there's so much axle, you know, or there's so much material here behind the axle. It's probably 8 foot or so behind the axle. Just clipped my mailbox, obviously, and broke this taillight. Don't ever break a taillight on something like this. They're unobtainium. Luckily, I found a place outside of the other side of Joplin that actually dismantles RVs. And they had a few of these in stock. That was $327 for that lens. Oh, just the red one. Just the red one. They said the white ones, the reverse ones, are the ones that are most common broke because of the lowest ones. And they didn't have, I think they had one. They are interchangeable. Left to right is interchangeable. That does help, but it doesn't take away the fact of how much it cost. So anyway, so that's our RV. And hate to bring it into the world this way, but that's kind of the way it works. Someday when we take it camping again, or I bring it up to the house and start doing a little bit more work to it here and there. I got a stabilizer, likes to come down but not back up. So I was messing with them one day and it came down, didn't go back up. The other two work fine. There's just some little things that need help, and doesn't take away from it running and driving. What I'll do is I'll just jack it. I've got a jack over there. I'll get underneath it with a wedge with my wife pushing the button, get it raised up. It has no trouble lifting, it just won't go back up. And I'll pull it up there and get my jack underneath it, jack it back up into place. And they use, I think, like a Ford solenoid off that hydraulic system. But anyway, I'll open up the super slide and you know, let you see how much more. I mean, it only goes out about a foot and a half or so, but man, you can't believe the square footage you pick up. As long as the thing is, I can't remember how long it is. I have to measure 12 foot, 16 foot, I don't remember now. Probably 12 foot or better. Anyway, all right, so we'll bring you back, you know, when we have some more either information on this, or whether it's, you know, on another video on some of my other piles of crap.